Breaking news to discuss involving the Charlotte Hornets. We all know Lamelo Ball, MB1, the one of one. This is spectacular information when we discussing the Taj Gibson deal that has just been announced. The Hornets are getting great mentorship now that they have signed Taj Gibson. I'm going to break down this deal and I'm going to break down what this means for everybody. We got to understand this man, Taj Gibson. He helped spearhead a lot of different situations in this league that I don't think he gets credit for. And here at Flight Sports, we gonna document everything. Listen, this man was right there hand in hand in the MVP situation with Derrick Rose. This guy seen the evolution of Emmanuel quickly, Jalen Brunson, and the list goes on. We all know what he did with Jimmy Butler. This guy is the man to call. Ask Tom Thibodeau. Now the Charlotte Hornets have given this man a call. And I'm here to tell you now, the change is finally coming to the Queen City. When you discussing Grant Williams, when you discussing Reggie Jackson, when you discussing Josh Green, and now I believe the domino of them all in Taj Gibson, this cements the character structure, the vibe, and everything that's going to be preached in the Queen City now that Taj Gibson has come on board. I'm a believer. I believe change is finally here. Listen, I got breaking news to discuss. Free agent Taj Gibson has agreed to a 1 year, $3.3 million deal with the Charlotte Hornets. He is brought on to mentor the young locker room, ladies and gentlemen. This is what head coach Charles Lee is looking for him to bring. And they're going to get that tenfold. And this team needs it. I know we are on Lamelo, and we know and understand what this is going to do for him. But I believe when you talking about this kid that they just drafted 6 overall in TJ Saloon, listen, Taj Gibson is going to work wonders for him. You know, when you discussing a Mark Williams, Taj Gibson is going to work wonders for him. When you discussing a Miles Bridges, Taj Gibson is going to work wonders for him. You know, so I mean, I love what they're doing. You know, usually the Hornets are just talking. You know, finally, you know, they are acting. This is an action. You know, obviously, Taj Gibson, we know he's not going to be bringing, you know, superstar, all star numbers. We all know his days of that are all over. He's never been an all star, but he was definitely a serious, you know, centerpiece in what the Bulls were doing, you know, and a lot of different other situations. Obviously, he in his glory days, he averaged 13 points. He shot 47% from the field. He never was a double double guy, but you had to respect him every time he was on the floor. You know, him coming off the bench, it was something big. And even when he was with the Knicks in his as he was getting up there in age, he was coming off the bench and producing, and he helped get the Knicks on track to where you see him. The Knicks I'm here to tell you now, the Knicks was just right here, you know, in the cellars. You know how it appears the Hornets look, you know, but the Knicks didn't have a lot of the things that the Hornets have, you know, a point guard and all these other things, you know, and I think the situation here could be accelerated. And I'm just excited to see what else they bring on board now and how can they get the most out of this roster. Last year, I mean, seriously, the season was horrendous. I mean, up from here. You can't go down. You know, there's no way you can get any worse from 21 to 61. And with the things and the stuff that's being put in place, they are making sure in everything in their power that they do not have another season like they just had. Charles Lee is there on board, just going hand in hand. And I'm here to tell you right now, make sure you don't touch that dial because we will be live calling play-by-play analysis. We have the return of Brandon Miller, B. Millie. We will get a first look at T. Jan Saloon. You know, so big things are coming for the Charlotte Hornets. We got Nick Smith Jr. We got the whole nine. I mean, the Hornets. This is what people have been waiting for. Now it's up to the Hornets now to put it on paper, put it on the court. What now? What? Grant Williams, I think, was planting some of the seeds that I think Taj Gibson is going to help blossom. Uh, and mind you, a guy like Grant Williams, a Charlotte a native, so he's connected to the situation. That's why I was a little upset when they let go of Seth. But it is what it is because Seth is, he's from Charlotte, so they're gonna have a different feel for it than a lot of the other people possibly may have. They're very, very much closer to the situation. They want to see the Hornets win bigger than a lot of people may know. So I hope that all of the veterans can, connect and help interject new life into this young core that I believe needs it, that I believe wants it. It's only a matter of time before, the Hornets get back to where they need to get to. They can't continue to just, be bad. I just got to be real with you. It's only up. Last year the injuries that killed Charlotte. It's no way the Hornets could, fully progress with their starting point guard Lamelo not being there. Obviously, that's key. Lamelo hasn't had any catastrophic injuries. When you look at a guy like Derrick Rose, I mean the ACL and things like that. If Lamelo was healthy, the Hornets are going to the playoffs, especially with the set. I believe this is the best that they have put around Lamelo so far. Obviously, this is not a homer. This is not a knock it out the park roster, but I believe from top to bottom, I believe this is the best pieces that they've put on for him. Now is up to them to just, like I said, figure it out. And I think you got a coach that's coming. I know you got a coach that's coming off of a championship as an assistant, the lead assistant. So let's see what he can bring to the Charlotte Hornets. I think a guys like Kenny Atkinson, he could have been here in Charlotte, a year ago, year or so or two ago, but now he's in Cleveland. I'm looking at Charlotte and the Cleveland situation. I like Charlotte, better than Cleveland. Look like they could be headed for a dead end. So I think that a lot of people are going to be kicking themselves in a year, 2 to 3. Especially if health is on the Hornets side, that they really wish they would have took this job. The Hornets situation is not as undesirable as it may look. Being a Hornets fan is not as bleak as it may look. I'm telling you, health, that's key. That's key. I'm telling you, look at the track record prior to all when everything broke loose with the Miles situation and the injuries. You guys were right there on the cusp of getting to the postseason in back-to-back playing scenarios. Now let's get back to that. It's Flight Sports TV. Taj Gibson, breaking news. You already know what it is. He has signed with the Charlotte Hornets. He's going to be bringing increased leadership, and this is going to be great for this young core. They need this. You have to have veterans on this bench, especially when you're trying to turn things around. His role is not to come here to put up 30 points. He's not here to put up a double-double. He's not here to compete with Mark Williams. He's not here to compete with Miles and the rest of these guys. He's here to help, mentor, you understand, and take this team to the next level. This is great for basketball. It's Flight Sports TV. You already know what it is. Make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe for more Hornets news, updates, and more. Peace.